tying up my, buttoning up my shirt. So, just button. No, okay, I have buttons there. I always think the buttons are closer than they actually are, and they're not. So, I think I went to the doctor today, and I wasn't able to get blood work done just because of my medical condition. It's hard for me to travel because of my my diabetes. And you know what that guy said on on YouTube, that comment he made. Where is it? I can actually pull up YouTube and go off on that comment that he made. This was.
Well, you are listening to Transparency and Merit. Brian over there is looking for a banner or a video. I'm looking for a banner. There we go.
Yeah. And let me see here. Oh wait, let me look here. I'm just looking for it, folks. So bear with me here. PragerU, maybe. Oh, here we go. He said, today most legal systems are based on a belief in human rights, but human rights are a fiction. In reality, humans have no rights, just as chimps or wolves have no rights. Cut open a human and you won't find any of these rights. The only place where human rights exist is in stories we invented and tell one another. Human rights may be a very attractive story, but it is only a story. The same mechanism is at work in politics, like gods and humans, like gods and human rights. Nations are fictions. A mountain is something real. You can see it, touch it, smell it. But the United States or Israel are not a physical reality. You cannot see them, touch them, or smell them. They are just stories that humans invented and then become extremely attached to. And you said you agreed with that statement, Joey, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, upon second listening, though, there is some interesting elements. Corporations were given rights. So I'm not sure why he's saying what he's saying. I'd have to go back and revisit that.
Yeah, well, I can put that up in our. I wonder if I can put that all up into our chat here. That statement here. Copy and do. See if I can say all of that. It kind of cut it up. So you can read it, but you have to not all the letters and stuff are on there, but it's just, it's a lot of different words. But what is real? I mean, hunger is real, starvation is real, and human rights are even freedom. Is freedom a reality? Because are we really free? I mean, when you're born dependent. If you don't have the help of your parents, you starve. I mean, a lot of free people are hungry and some free people are starving. And plenty of people, and I think most human beings, will give up their freedom for something to eat when they're hungry, including me. So, is freedom a reality? Because you can't touch freedom, you can't feel freedom. I guess if you're free from jail, or you're not, I mean, really, if you go to jail and you're out of jail, but are you really free? What's free? I mean, that's just my curiosity. What really exists and what does not? Because that really got me thinking. What exists in this world and what doesn't exist?
Well, there are a few things that certainly do not exist. And because we're not expressly told certain things, they're allowed to live, they're allowed to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a shame, but that's just the way it is. People are far more interested in a character than they are reality. And that's the truth. People have taken to this fantasy reality that's going on. They would, have you ever heard the expression, they won't believe it unless they saw it on TV? And that's kind of true, man. It's very true for a lot of people. I saw news. I don't watch the news, okay, but I'm taking care of the old bird here, and she watches the news. And there was a news story that came on earlier today, and it was came out of Mexico, and there was a 7.0 earthquake, and they were showing some footage, supposed footage from this earthquake, and it was filmed inside of an auditorium, like a indoor stadium, and there was supposed to be a wrestling match about to take place. And so they're doing this footage and they're like, oh yeah, there's a 7.0 earthquake occurring in this, and look at what you see, the people running, but nobody was running. A, B, it's in a wrestling stadium, which is like the most comical thing to me. And literally nobody was moving. They were just kind of walking around, but there was supposed to be this 7.0 devastating earthquake striking. And I was just looking at the old lady. I'm like, so what do you think of that? She goes, oh my God, a 7.0 earthquake. That sounds horrible. Oh my God. And I was like, did you just watch that video though? Like, none of that made any sense. Like, nobody was moving. Like, it wasn't there was like one thing happening on the screen, and this newscaster was talking about all the fear and pandemonium and just craziness. But yet nothing was happening. It was just so weird. It was surreal to me. I'm like, I just thought, like, anybody who watches this and doesn't know what's happening there, that's almost a lost cause at this point. And it's not just that story, but that story that set it off. Because like I said, I never turn the news on, and I think most I'm hoping a lot more people are kind of coming around to that. Like, there's almost no differentiating what we see on the major channel news sites. There's almost no difference between that and wrestling at this point. So I found that interesting. Just noticed that earlier tonight.
But yeah, I mean, and the truth is, you can go into a lot of black holes, and the past is dead, the future is imaginary, and it's just true. I mean, we only have the present right now. And I mean, you can kind of study the past and see what you can do differently, but you cannot go back into the past and change it. You shouldn't lament. You can't go back in time, but you can maybe learn, like, hey, I learned, like, hey, I was this way and I'm not going to do this again. But you shouldn't dwell on the past, and you shouldn't dwell on the future either, because it doesn't, like, you're not going to, the big payday is not going to arrive until it happens. And then when it happens, it may not be that great, there are plenty of people who, man, I can't wait till I get all my financial house in order and my ship's going to come in. And then when it comes in, they've developed some health problem, they get cancer, or it's not necessarily what it's cracked out to be. Everything looks good from afar. The grass is always greener from the other side. But I mean, the truth is, we don't need that. I mean, like, I have found from looking at things, I don't really need that much. I don't need a lot of food. Sometimes I want a lot of food, but I don't need it, not to live or survive. And actually, I would do better if I ate less. If I took just what I need instead of taking what I want. The same thing with spending. If I just spent just on what I needed instead of what I wanted, that right there is the main focus, because I don't have a lot. I mean, for me, I'm starting to have a lot less needs. I mean, like, I'm doing things with, like, what I need, and then, like, kind of what I want, like, that's secondary. Like, I'll need to eat to survive, like, just a few bites, but I don't need to eat another bite. I want chocolate cake, but I don't need it to survive. Actually, it harms me, and it's to get to that point of control. What are the things that I, as a human being, I, as a man, can control right now? And how does a human being develop the most self-control?
Seems like you're trying to break some habits, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to break, that's self-control is breaking the bad habits, developing good habits, and breaking bad ones. And that's what I want to do. I want to break bad habits.
Me too, man. Me too. I think I'm trying to also break free of habits and convenience and certain things that I don't need, that I want every once in a while, but I don't need them. And in the problem with accepting certain conveniences in life, the second you submit to those, then you are now on you are now basically in a trust situation, and I don't like that. I like doing, earning, bartering if I need to, and essentially just living. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to fall of trap into the trap of convenience, which it's an addiction. So yeah, there's that.
To say there certainly is that addiction of convenience. There is,
It comes at a cost, doesn't it? What would you say the cost of convenience is?
laziness.
There you go. That's a heavy cost.
Yeah. Yeah. And laziness does not do well for your health.
No, it doesn't. Does not.
And convenience also causes indulgence. Look how many people are overweight in this country and in the first world. And they don't know, some of them don't know how good they have it compared to other places. Other places, they wish they could have, you know, these, you know, mountains of groceries and food that they can eat. But then they probably develop the same health problems as these people who are doing that, who are overeating and overindulging like I have. Although I've lost a lot of weight, and maybe I can stop being too, you know, like I haven't been under 200 pounds since I was 12 years old. So I'm hoping to get back to 195. Actually, when I was about 13, 14, I was 195. So I like to kind of get back to that weight. It's been over it's been over 30 years since over 25 years since I've been that weight. And I'd like to get back to it. Actually, it's over 30 years, sorry. My mathematical, it's been close to 35 years that it's been 35, 14. No, it's been over 35 years. Jesus Christ, man. That I've been that I was 195. There's a lot of reasons why I'm overweight, but how do you overcome it? How do you overcome the bad habits? And also my anger. I go online and I listen to some of these people talk, and to me it's so ridiculous and so foolish that it makes me angry. And I don't take time to stop and think, what am I wasting my time with this person for? I'm not going to convince them of anything. They're stuck in their beliefs, and to a degree so am I. I'm not going to change, and neither are they. I may, you know, I mean, and I'm not even saying that I wouldn't change if I had to. Like if if I was starving and someone said, sign this document that you believe this, I would probably sign it because I'm human. And humans need food to survive. And humans from the moment of their birth strive to survive and procreate, which is a form of survival, I guess. We put on all kinds of, I think a lot of men put on all kinds of false personas to try to get women. I have a hat. Maybe that's a false persona because I'm completely bald up top. And a lot of women will do their nails and stuff like that. And a lot of men will try to wear a nice suit or nice clothes. But at the end of the day, the nails that they try to do are the making their hair nice. It doesn't compare to a nice physique. My suggestion to a male or female, if they really want to attract the opposite sex, is they would hit the gym and work out and build lean muscle. Because I think lean muscle is probably the most attractive thing. It means you're healthy, and it means you can defend yourself against the elements. Whether those elements are nature or they're human. Is there anything that I've said that you want to comment on, or is most of what I said to be bloviated nonsense?
No, I think you're kind of on the right path. I had a conversation with someone yesterday about the idea of scarcity, and I disagreed with the notion that food will be scarce. I think food will be here for us, but it is a wake up call especially to overeaters and people who are basically not eating their share, but also the fact that it's almost like a planned. If there is ever an issue of scarcity, it's a planned issue of scarcity. There's certainly plenty of land in the area close to where I live that could be used for growing a public co-op farm.
Mm.
There's plenty of that, but there's so much red tape and regulation that prevents that from happening legitimately. And it's not just my neighborhood. I'm talking about every city neighborhood that is reliant on big chain stores and like the China Mart, whatever that is, Costco, places like that, which is all just corporate takeover. So yeah, if there's some sort of trucker revolt, or who knows, some kind of embargo happens, or something, those are planned by nature. It's a planned scarcity. It's not that the world doesn't have enough of everything it needs to grow as much as a city needs anywhere in the country. So and this person kind of got offensive at me for disagreeing and stating that. I guess I was too idealistic, and this was a teacher I was talking to, mind you, and I wasn't disagreeing just to disagree. I thought that this was a valid point, and why aren't people that are in a position to fight out and speak out against something. The other concern that I brought up too was the same one I brought up on other shows, is because these were people who were in a sort of sense, we're talking about health, right? We're talking about health. We're talking about, that, and scarcely having enough food and all this stuff. And so I did bring up my thoughts about corn syrup, in that if the government truly was worried about our health, wouldn't they attack an issue like corn syrup that's in everything that's on the shelves in the market? It beefs up what's there. It preserves it for longer. It does all these things. It does everything except give nutrients to a body, to the human being's body. So I guess I was speaking a foreign language because this person didn't like what I was saying. I guess that was too radical, I don't understand how that's a radical idea. I think it was pure, like, to me, it's common sense, but common sense is out the window, Brian. That's what I truly think has happened here. Common sense has been crushed and obliterated to the ground, stomped out like an old cigarette, just smashed out right into the pavement. Where's common sense in all of this?
Well, when you're up against mass psychosis, it's hard to talk common sense with people. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. And I was talking to someone online and talking about the value of freedom of speech. And they just seem to be playing all kinds of games with me. And what's the point? What's the point of continuing a conversation like that? It's not going anywhere. This person believes that they are in the right, and they will say things in roundabout ways. And this person is drenched in words like white supremacy and racism. Some people are right now are drenched in this is our safety, and people need to be safe. And someone was even saying something to the effect of people are being selfish with regards to this. Those who don't take the vaccine, the unvaccinated, are hurting the rest of us because they're not getting vaccinated. And the people that aren't wearing masks are hurting the rest of us. They're infecting the rest of us. They're the super spreaders. That having something unnatural like a mask.
This is kind of hard to imagine, but I have an uncle who was born in 1918. He's long deceased, but he was the oldest of 9 children. And he was a cartoon illustrator for a newspaper here in West Los Angeles at the time, in the 50s. And he had I'm only recently finding some of the columns that he illustrated, but they're all about these ideas, because he came from a time from where the world was and started to change in 1933. And by the 1950s, there were already a lot of major things coming, and he did a column in the 50s called Salvation Army. Salvation Army. And if you know the true meaning of salvation, which is like redemption, and you put those ideas together, Salvation Army, with all there were little allusions to all the programs that the government had created that fell into this category of the Salvation Army. It's a brilliant, brilliant little comic. It was true social commentary, and we're severely lacking that nowadays. We don't get that. You can't find that in the regular newspaper. You might still find some in the New Yorker, but even the New Yorker's got such a left bent. I think I haven't looked at it in quite a while, but anyways, it was quite a shock to see that. I went looking for some of those old columns. Unbelievable what he was drawing about.
Yeah. Well, I was just seeing a man who I weighed 207 pounds today. The picture that was left on Katrina in 2013, I weighed 330 pounds, and this guy lost 123 pounds. And that's great. I mean, I think that's awesome that he lost that much weight. Um, 123 pounds lost. I would absolutely love.
Well, you'd look ridiculous at 100 pounds.
No, but I would like to lose. He's not 100. He lost 123 pounds. He's like 207 now.
207 is not bad.
I'd like to get to 195, but that's just. Yeah.
Well, that's going to take a lot of restraint, I think, because you will be limiting yourself severely on what you can and can't eat. So, but it's possible. It's
I'm
not
at that, I'm at that point where major changes have happened so far, and with my diet, and so far these major changes have been good, and I feel perhaps. Although, look, I'm not the thinker I was years ago. I think I have a calmness now, even though the recent events have made me angry. But I have to realize, what's the point of being angry at a fool? You know, you're not going to. Even if they have power, right now they don't really have that much power over me. And most people get in trouble when they do things out of anger. And anger often, if not just about every time, comes from a self-righteous place. And angry people are not to be trusted. At the end of the day, we all face everybody faces disappointment. We're not going to get what we want, and hopefully we get what we need. But at the end of the day, we are all going to die. And on average, 100 years from now, most of us won't even, most people won't even know who we are. I mean, I think of my great grandmother who met Abraham Lincoln. She was actually on a show. She was on Art Linkletter's show, Queen for a Day, on her 100th birthday. And I think the story goes, she said she told Art Linkletter that he kind of looked like Lincoln. And there was some laughter. And he said, well, wasn't he kind of homely? And she said, well, yes, but he had the most noble face and noble disposition you could ever imagine.
YouTube addiction. He says, check out the channel on Odyssey. Banned YouTube videos. Interesting.
I will absolutely check that out. I hear a lot of people like Odyssey. And the truth is, I guess it's kind of a hassle to go to these other platforms and put your stuff out there, but I think it's something that should be done. And Diamond Dane says the only way is 130, and it's really cool. I mean, it's very healthy to eat less. I think overeating is probably in some ways worse than doing drugs. But how do you stop overeating? How do you gain that self-restraint? And the truth is, I don't think there's growth without a lot of times without pain. With growth comes pain, and sometimes you grow. I mean, there are times when you collapse from it, but there are other times when you grow from it. And like I said, I used to scarf it down, and I didn't have concerns for things, but it's been painful lately. It's like getting up 3 to 4, sometimes 7 times a night to go to the bathroom. It's not worth it. I want to defeat my diabetes. Just not to look better or be more attractive. I don't want to get into shape to look better or look more attractive. I basically want to. I want to. I want to feel better, and I want to go to the bathroom less. The rest of the stuff really doesn't mean that much. I mean, I think your health comes first, your physical health, and then your emotional health or your financial health, right? Your physical well-being, and then your emotional well-being, and I think that's combined with your emotional perhaps well-being, and then your financial well-being. Let me know if you want to live stream on Odyssey. I'll boost your channel to 3. You know what? Yeah, you know what? YouTube addiction. We would love to do that. And we'll actually go. I think you know what? I think tonight, Joe and I will. After the show, perhaps Joe and I will go on to Odyssey and see what we can do.
Well, maybe we'll have to check out YouTube Addiction's video first on Odyssey.
I wonder if you can put that in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. If you can put up his channel.
Look it up. That's no worries. That's easy.
Yeah.
Easy part.
But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of other sites that people can go on that are people are free thinking and think freely and send me a comment on my channel. You know, I think we'll do that. I think we will absolutely do that. Maybe Joe can do that right now, or I can look at that right now and just go on Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Okay, that's great. I think we should get a channel on there. And I think you can. I think you can. Um, I think with StreamYard, you can probably get on. You know, like do a thing with StreamYard where you can go on Odyssey or anyway. But at the moment, my big question is, you know, how do you build more? You know, for me, building more self restraint and making those lifestyle changes, because all the rest, I have limited control over people's opinion of me. And the truth is, I doubt I have little control over some of my actions. Like I said, if I'm starving, I'll eat bugs if I'm hungry enough.
Never run out of food because of bugs.
That's true. Bugs are a good source of protein. Have you ever eaten bugs, Joe?
Not intentionally.
I've eaten grasshopper.
Nice.
Would you ever do that or no?
Yeah, I got no problem with it.
Have you eaten snails?
I have, but they were like done in a French restaurant. They're pretty good.
Have you had caviar?
Yes, I have.
What do you
Only once or twice though. The good stuff. I've had cheap caviar a couple of other times. There is a big difference.
kind of salty?
Yeah, that's if you get like the really good stuff, it's not so bad. That stuff's like very expensive per ounce. I don't even know.
Deep fried tarantula. I doubt
Oh
that.
yeah. Now you're talking.
I doubt that. But again,
I cannot find that dude's YouTube channel.
I had a friend in college that would lie all
Uh-oh.
the time about everything. You probably know that one person that
Oh yeah. Not that one. Hard to find, but I'll have to. I don't know why YouTube addiction should come up, but
what's the name of his YouTube channel?
I just said it. YouTube addiction, I think. I'll try it one word. No. But I will say, with that kind of the title, you probably get a lot of traffic that way. It's good words. Good words to use.
So you can't find his YouTube channel. I wonder.
Probably because he's promoting things like Odyssey. He's hidden.
You're not looking for no, but you got to look for his YouTube channel, his channel on Odyssey, Joe. You got to go into Odyssey.
Oh, not here on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I'll look for it on. I'll find it on Odyssey. Anyways, Brian, do you want to finish up here so we can get Boogie?
Absolutely, Joe. I think we need to. We'll finish up, and then Odyssey has banned YouTube videos. Why has Odyssey banned YouTube videos?
Reread that. You're reading it wrong. Okay, I found him on Odyssey. I got it. 110 uploads. I'm going to subscribe. Oh, yeah. Hopefully I'm logged in. Yeah. All right, I just followed the dude. So I've got the bells and whistles and all that.
Make him an admin. I wonder, can we go on StreamYard and play videos on?
You can stream right to it. Yeah, you could stream to Odyssey.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Scott. We got to take a break, but
We don't have to. I was just.
yeah, no, I think we've said everything we have to say, and then we'll just be repeating ourselves if we continue.
Yeah, it's been a long day, so for me, so we could boogie on out.
Yes.
Odyssey. All right, I'm gonna find that video from.
Yeah. Hey guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and visit our website, transparencyandmerit.com.